iPhone 1. The iPhone, launched on June 29, 2007, revolutionized the smartphone industry by combining a phone, iPod, and internet communicator into one touchscreen device. Featuring a 3.5-inch capacitive display with a 320 by 480 resolution, powered by a 412 MHz ARM processor and 128 MB of RAM, it ran the first iPhone OS, offering a fluid interface with apps like Safari, Mail, and a dedicated iPod app for music and videos. The 2MP rear camera lacked flash or video recording, and storage options were 4 GB, 8 GB, or later 16 GB. It was a premium device starting at $499 with a 2-year contract, selling over 6 million units by the end of its run. It had no app store at launch, third-party apps arrived later via jailbreaking, nor did it support MMS or copy-paste. Battery life supported up to 8 hours of talk time. The iPhone redefined user expectations, prioritizing design and software polish, and laid the foundation for Apple's dominance in the smartphone market, selling 1.4 million units in 2007 alone. iPhone 3G. The iPhone 3G, launched in July 2008, marked a significant evolution from the original iPhone. It introduced 3G connectivity, enabling faster internet access for browsing and downloads compared to the 2G network of its predecessor. The device featured a 3.5-inch display at 320 by 480 resolution, a 2MP rear camera, and a plastic back in black or white. The App Store debuted, offering third-party applications that transformed the iPhone into a versatile platform for productivity, gaming, and communication. It also included GPS for location-based services, and came in 8 GB or 16 GB storage options. iOS 2.0 supported push email. The iPhone 3G sold over 1 million units in its launch weekend. However, battery life was a concern, with 3G connectivity draining power faster, offering up to 5 hours of talk time. This model established the iPhone as a leader in the smartphone market. iPhone 4. The iPhone 4, launched in June 2010, introduced a premium design with a flat glass front and back. Its 3.5-inch Retina display, 960 by 640, 326 ppi, offered unprecedented clarity. The A4 chip with 512 MB of RAM improved performance, and the 5MP rear camera with LED flash supported 720p video recording. A front-facing VGA camera enabled FaceTime video calls. Storage options remained at 8 GB, 16 GB, and 32 GB, and iOS 4 introduced multitasking and folders. iPhone 5. The iPhone 5, launched in September 2012, featured a taller 4-inch Retina display, 1136 by 640, and a lighter aluminum body. The A6 chip doubled performance over the 4S, and LTE connectivity enabled faster data speeds. The 8MP camera added panorama mode, and the front camera upgraded to 1.2MP with 720p video. The Lightning connector replaced the 30-pin dock, and iOS 6 introduced Apple Maps. It sold 5 million units in its launch weekend. iPhone 6. The iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, launched in September 2014, embraced larger displays, 4.7 inches for the 6. The A8 chip and 1 GB of RAM powered iOS 8, which introduced widgets and HealthKit. The 8MP camera added focus pixels for faster autofocus. Apple Pay debuted for contactless payments, and storage options reached 128 GB. The aluminum unibody design was thinner but faced criticism for bending under pressure, bend gate. The larger screens aligned with market trends, driving sales of 10 million units in the launch weekend. iPhone 7. Launched in September 2016, the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus introduced water and dust resistance and removed the headphone jack, emphasizing wireless audio. The A10 Fusion chip with 2 GB of RAM boosted performance by 40% over the 6S. The 7's 12MP camera improved low-light performance, while the 7 Plus added a dual-camera system with a 12MP telephoto lens for 2x optical zoom and portrait mode. Both had 7MP front cameras. And storage started at 32 GB, up to 256 GB. iOS 10 introduced a redesigned lock screen and iMessage enhancements. It was sold over 159 million units as on 2025. iPhone 8. The iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, released in September 2017, featured glass backs for wireless charging, and retained the 4.7 and 5.5-inch Retina displays. The A11 Bionic chip with 2 GB of RAM powered iOS 11, enabling augmented reality apps. The 12MP camera on the 8 and dual 12MP cameras on the 8 Plus improved with better sensors and portrait lighting on the Plus. Storage ranged from 64GB to 256GB. These models were overshadowed by the simultaneous iPhone X launch but appealed to users preferring the familiar design with Touch ID. It was sold over 86 million units as on 2020. iPhone X. The iPhone X, launched in November 2017, redefined the iPhone with a 5.8-inch edge-to-edge OLED Super Retina display, 2436 by 1125, and no home button. Face ID, powered by the TrueDepth camera, enabled facial recognition for unlocking the A11 Bionic chip with 3 GB of RAM ran iOS 11, and dual 12MP cameras with OIS supported portrait mode for both rear and front 7MP cameras. The glass and stainless steel design supported wireless charging, and storage reached 256 GB. It started at $999, with 16 million units shipped in Q4 2017. iPhone 11. The iPhone 11 series, launched in September 2019. The iPhone 11 featured a 6.1-inch LCD, A13 Bionic chip, and dual 12MP cameras, wide and ultra-wide, with night mode and 4K video at 60 frames per second, and up to 18 hours of battery life. All models had 4 GB of RAM, Face ID, and storage from 64 GB to 512 GB. iOS 13 added dark mode and enhanced privacy features. The $11,'s $699 price and camera upgrades drove sales of 37 million units in Q4 2019. iPhone 12. The iPhone 12 series, launched in October 2020, introduced flat edges, 5G connectivity, and MagSafe for magnetic accessories. 6.1-inch OLED display, featured the A14 Bionic chip, dual 12MP cameras with night mode, and ceramic shield for durability. Storage ranged from 64 GB to 512 GB, and iOS 14 improved widgets and privacy. The series sold over 100 million units by mid-2021. iPhone 13. Launched in September 2021, the iPhone 13 series refined the 12 with smaller notches and the A15 Bionic chip. The 13, 6.1-inch OLED, featured dual 12MP cameras with cinematic mode and larger sensors for better low-light performance. The 13 Pro and Pro Max, 6.1 and 6.7-inch OLED, added promotion 120Hz displays, macro photography, battery life improved significantly, with the Pro Max offering up to 28 hours. Storage reached 1 TB for Pro models. iOS 15 introduced focus modes and live text. The series sold 85 million units in Q4 2021. iPhone 14. The iPhone 14 series, launched in September 2022, replaced the Mini with a 6.7-inch 14 Plus. The 14 and 14 Plus used the A15 Bionic chip, dual 12MP cameras, and added emergency SOS via satellite and crash detection. The 14 Pro and Pro Max, 6.1 and 6.7-inch OLED, featured the A16 Bionic chip, a 48MP main camera, dynamic island for interactive notifications, and always-on displays. All models ran iOS 16, with storage from 128 GB to 1 TB. The iPhone 14 series has sold approximately 150.6 million units, as on Q4 2023. iPhone 15. Launched in September 2023, the iPhone 15 series adopted USB-C across all models, driven by EU regulations. The 15 and 15 Plus, 6.1 and 6.7-inch OLED, featured the A16 Bionic chip, dynamic island, and a 48MP main camera with 2x telephoto crop. The 15 Pro and Pro Max, 6.1 and 6.7-inch OLED, used titanium frames, the A17 Pro chip, and an action button replacing the mute switch. The Pro Max offered a 5x telephoto zoom. Storage ranged from 128 GB to 1 TB, and iOS 17 enhanced customization. The series sold 90 million units in Q4 2023. iPhone 16. The iPhone 16 series, launched in September 2024, emphasized AI with Apple Intelligence. The 16, 6.1-inch OLED featured the A18 chip, a camera control button, and a 48MP Fusion camera with macro and spatial video for Vision Pro. The iPhone 16e, introduced in 2025 at $599, replaced the SE with a 6.1-inch OLED, A18 chip, and single 48MP camera. All models ran iOS 18, with storage from 128GB to 1TB.